Hello, my name is Kirsten and welcome to TOEFL Land. And today I would like to give you a little tip for speaking task number 4, which is summarize the lecture. And my tip is this: make something out of nothing. That's right, make something out of nothing. And what I mean by that is a lot of students that I've seen get really anxious, get really scared when they listen to a lecture. It's going really fast. It sounds like all of this information that I don't even understand. I'm taking notes and they're already speaking about the next thing, so I miss the next thing. And when I look at my notes, I feel like, oh my gosh, I missed half the lecture. I don't know what to say. And then beep, the lecture talked about 5G and the negative effects of 5G frequencies. Okay, first of all, do not make a statement when it sounds like you're asking a question, okay? So when you summarize a lecture, do not sound unsure. Do not sound like you're asking a question. You want to sound like you are an expert in the field and you are sharing this information with confidence and certainty, all right? So let's say you're going into a job interview, okay? And you have no experience with this job at all, but the person will ask you, the interviewer says, so tell me a little bit about your experience. Well, you're not going to back away. You really want this job. So you are going to maybe think about a time in your life, maybe where you had one tiny experience, or maybe a past job where you had one tiny thing that resembled the job that you're now going to apply to. And so you take that one thing and you're going to expand upon it and make it seem like it was grand. That's what you're doing with speaking test number 4. You're taking what you do have and you're expanding on it. I don't mean making stuff up. I don't mean creating facts out of nowhere, right? You're sticking to what the lecture gave you, but you're taking your time with it. You're speaking with certainty and you're making something happen out of that much, okay? So let's take this example, okay? If I were in a perfect world and I understood everything the lecture was saying and I had all these notes that I remembered, all the information, I listened to this lecture about 5G. And it said, well, 5G frequencies have risks. First of all, we have to look at how it negatively impacts our ecosystem. Studies have shown that it can affect insects and that insects can absorb these frequencies, and this results in changes in their behavior. Insects operate with a magnetic compass, and frequencies like 5G can actually interfere with their own magnetic compass, and this might affect their ability to pollinate. And of course, as pollinators, we have to be concerned with what food they're actually pollinating, because that could affect human food supply. Also, 5G has negative effects for transportation. For example, driverless cars would depend on being able to connect to a 5G network. However, when you're in a rural area, you might come across some dead spots where you don't have connectivity. In that situation, it could be dangerous. Also, hackers might get into the network system that you're on and actually hack in to your car system and take control of your car, which would also be quite dangerous. The third and last thing the lecture discusses is the 5G risks for our health. No studies have been done that show that 5G is safe. Also, studies on rats with 2G and 3G frequencies have shown rats develop tumors over a 2-year period of time. There are some studies that also show 5G has detrimental effects to our immune system. Okay, so that's a perfect world. That is a perfect world where I just remembered or, had notes on everything that the lecture talked about. But we don't live in a perfect world all the time. So let's say on test day, you totally didn't understand anything about this magnetic compass or pollinators or food supply. Boom. I don't know what that was about. Hacking, I totally didn't get that. I don't even know what hacking is. It's gone. I don't know. And this whole thing about the rats and the tumors in the rats, I didn't get that. I didn't catch it. Okay. I got this. Guess what? It can be enough. So, confidence, certainty. Let's pretend we're at that job interview. Let's pretend that we know what we're talking about, and we're going to take this and make something happen with it. Okay? I'm going to watch the timer this time. I'm going to put 1 minute on my clock here, and I'm just going to do what I can with what I have. Speak slowly, take your time, and you might find that I repeat some information. I just rephrase it a certain way. Why am I doing that? So I can extend my time. Okay, here we go. The lecture talks about the risks of 5G. There are many risks for 5G. The first is that it can be negative for our ecosystem. In fact, 5G frequencies do affect insects because insects' bodies can absorb these frequencies. It can result in a change in the insect's behavior. Also, 5G may have detrimental effects for our transportation systems. For example, if we look at driverless cars, they are connected to a 5G network. However, in rural areas, that connectivity might be bad. Therefore, it would be dangerous to be in a driverless car. Also, it has negative effects on our health. It might affect our immune system and beep. Okay. Did I have all the information? No, I didn't. But was my answer enough? Yeah. Was it enough to get me a perfect score? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe not. But at least it gets me a score. Okay? So saying something is better than saying nothing. And when you don't have much of anything, you're going to make something out of nothing, okay? You have this magic power. I promise you, you can do it. I've seen students do this. And I had one student who maybe understood just 40% of the lecture. Just 40%. Maybe 35%. And what she would do with that 35%, expand it. Make it sound amazing. Make it sound like she's really certain of this lecture. And quite honestly, when I was grading her, when I was listening to her, I wanted her to talk more. She had such a beautiful way of performing what she did have. And that's precisely what I want you to know, is that the speaking tasks on TOEFL are performances. So even if you're missing some details, even if you feel like you're missing half the lecture, what you do with that other half, or 35%, is you're really going to expand and perform it to the best of your ability. That's my tip for today, gang, and I will see you next time. Happy TOEFL studies!